All right, boys, this is for all my Tennessee Vols fans out there who say that our playbook sucks, or anybody that says that Tennessee's playbook sucks. And I can understand why, because it's one of those veer and shoot offenses, and so it mimics like what they run in real life under Josh Heupel. There's a lot of wide formations in here, and there's a lot of unusually wide formations at that, like bunch quads open, like wide trips. Like there, a lot of these formations are super inconvenient from a football slash Madden video game standpoint, right? Because of the way the screen is when you break the huddle, like you can't really see most of your players. I understand that, okay? But what I have for you today is a scheme that you guys can really cook out of this, especially if you're wanting to use the Tennessee Vols and Road to the College Football Playoff, which I know a lot of you guys don't play cut. The difference between this playbook this year versus in college football 25 is they did add one compressed formation for us in here, and that is like probably the best formation overall, in my opinion. Just I've created a scheme for you guys to where you're able to audible from tight slots to wide slot right weak. Those are the main two formations we're going to be focusing on, and there's also a couple plays in wide Y trips week and wide Y off trips. So we're going to kind of be shuffling in between those four formations right there. But of course, we're mainly going to be focusing on tight slots and a wide slot right week. I did release a wide slot right week ebook on Tennessee offense last year, and it did really well. You guys really liked it. So I'm going to continue that with the addition of the tight slots. So we're going to go over how each play beats. I'm going to go over audibles, how each play beats cover three, cover two, cover four, or really just universally against zone coverage in general. So you guys will never struggle against zone. And I'm going to show you guys like the mid blitz section of the ebook too. That's like what you're mainly going to see when people run mid blitz online. I'm going to show you plays you can go to get cheap yards against it to kind of get them out of that defense. So if you're new and you haven't come across the channel before, we do college football tips. We're also going to be getting into the Panthers theme team when Madden comes out in a few days. And also, we're going to drop schemes on Madden as well. So if you like that kind of thing, make sure you drop a like, subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell so you're always notified when a new video goes live on the channel. So we're going to start out in tight slots. Audibles, we have inside zone, halfback sweep. That's a really good run play versus the meta. We'll show that here. All go, which is like four verticals from compression, and then we have bench swap. And then I'm going to also explain why I don't come out in certain plays. So as I was messing with this in practice mode, I noticed like there's a few like mini plays in the game. The offensive line randomly changes their slide protections on you whenever you audible to different plays this year. And that's a really annoying from a competitive standpoint because that means random blitzes will come in, etc., things like that. So I wanted to make sure I picked a high-powered play for you to come out in every single play when you break the huddle, where you don't have to change your base blocking. It's already set at base for you. And if you're unfamiliar with that, I'll explain it here. So we're going to come out in corner goes. You can't see it because my face cam's hiding it, but we're coming out in corner goes. All right, boys, when we come out of the huddle in the play corner and goes, we're only going to make two hot routes, and that is to put the outside left receiver on a slot fade, and then we're going to put our outside right receiver on a post. And what this is going to do is going to create a high-low over the middle and on the sideline on the left, just in case it's a cover two. Okay, so I'm going to show this against cover three, which is what you see here. And I'm going to show this route combo again against cover two, and you're going to see that all the routes are going to get open at some point during the play. And the post route is something that we're going to save for, like, just remember that they're going to be using in a real game between one of these two yellow zones. So pay attention to that as well. Like once you get them underneath with these routes right here, your first read is going to be your zig. So against cover three, cover four, you're going to be able to throw that pretty consistently against any type of zone. Against cover two, you have to wait until it goes further towards like the sideline and stuff to hit it. But you're also going to have your tight end return route here. Once it breaks open over the middle, you can use that for another check down option. And then you're also going to have your wide receiver post. So remember, if your blocking changes, just reset it back to base. That's L1 down on the left stick. It's going to reset your blocking back to base. That's what we want. And that's why we come out in this play. So you're going to have your post route coming in behind the 2 return routes. Once you get their defense to start coming down, once you start hitting them with those routes enough, then you're going to be able to hit that post route if someone's user's there. Okay, that's the key. Like, I'm not able to do that because I'm only using one controller. I can't mimic both sides of the ball right now. So, but when you're in a real online game, you're most of the time you're probably going to run into someone using one of those 2 linebackers. And so when they're using, they're going to be vacating that area of the field so that you can hit that post right behind them, because they're going to be worried about the 2 return routes here. So you're going to be, the point is, if those 2 return routes are open, you're going to want to run that. You hit those routes every single time. So we're going to run that one more time. The zig route is going to be open, and then the return route is going to be open from the tight end. Those are the 2 routes you're going to be wanting to look for against any type of zone defense, whether it's cover 3, cover 4, cover 2. Sometimes that return route gets bumped a little bit, but he's still going to come open eventually. All right, now I'm going to show this play against the Tampa 2, and the setup is the same. Slot fade the left receiver, post route the right receiver, and then you're going to want to look to your return route and then your zigs first, right? But if I think if I think my opponent's in a cover 2 and I can see it and maybe tell pre-snap, I'm always going to look at that slot fade first when I know it's a cover 2. So you're going to notice that the slot fade is going to get behind that cloud flat, and you're going to want to pass lead that directly to the sideline and possession catch it, so you can get away from the defense there. So that's why we have that slot fade on the field. And this only works whenever you're running it on the weak side. So you want if we were on the right hash, you'd run this play flipped. So, and then you also have your other stuff underneath too. So while I'm throwing this route, make sure you pay attention to the other. He actually ran behind him right there. That's kind of insane. But against cover 2, you're gonna also have your underneath routes as well. So your zig against cover 2, you just have to wait until he gets past that hook curl. You're not going to have as much rack opportunity with that, but it's still an option. And then the return route is going to get open versus cover 2 too, because you see he gets open, step up in the pocket, hit the throw. It's just a really good universal beater for all types of zone, and all those routes are going to beat man fairly consistently as well too. So that's a really good base play. Another route combo we can do with this play right here is we can motion the running back out and create an empty bunch look. And then from there, we can put him on a corner route, stem him all the way down, and then put the slot receiver on a fade, tight end on a streak. And then you can do whatever you want with this backside here to give yourself some more options. But this is really good against if you're trying to flood the sideline to the wide side, because they have to respect that corner route. That like speed corner route. I'll show you how it gets open here. With a good pass lead, green throw to the outside, that's automatic to the wide side of the field. The only way they're stopping that is if they have a cloud flat over there, I do believe. It's like a stock cloud flat would probably guard that, but you just have to read the spacing. And this is really good versus like heavy switch stickers too. So like if you get them with that route enough, they'll bite down, and then you can pop them with a slot fade over the top. Or this works really good against cover 2 as well. So if they switch to the cloud flat, bite down on the corner route, you can see how you can kind of hit that that slot fade over the top. Now I want to briefly go over the 2 run plays here. Inside zone is just like a chain mover. You want to keep the defense honest with that. It's not meant to gain more than like maybe 3 or 5 yards. So sometimes it'll get blown up. It's not the most automatic run ever. But we also have this jet sweep, not jet sweep. We have this halfback sweep in our arsenal, and I want to specifically show this against mid blitz because it's the best. It works best when you're playing against somebody that's running mid blitz. And it's the same sort of deal. Like it's the same run that's in bunch tight end. You just have like one less blocker over there. But in general, if you don't hold turbo until you pass the line of scrimmage, you're going to get pretty consistent yards. We're going to flip it, run it the other way, just so you guys can see. We have more space to the sideline or to this other side of the field here. It works when you run it both ways. just got to wait and not hold turbo until you pass the line of scrimmage, so you can give your blockers so that they hold their blocks longer. So it's a really consistent run, especially with no adaptive AI. It's see, that time we're breaking it for a touchdown pretty much. So as long as you don't hold turbo till you pass the line of scrimmage, you're going to be okay when you're running that play. The next play we're going over is all go, and this is a play that I would only run against zone. It's mainly to attack the seams, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier about they're in a real game they're going to be using one of those yellow zones, so you have to pay attention to which one they're using. And the whole deal with this play is you want to just put the running back on a Texas route and make sure you have base blocking. I would ignore the wheel routes. They're just pull routes. You used to be able to insta throw them in the flats against match like last year, but I found that you can't do that this year. So you want to be looking to like insta throw the seam streaks if they're using one of the yellow zones and they come down. But really, like until they respect this running back Texas route out of the backfield, you're going to be able to hit this all day long against any type of zone. And I'll show it against cover two as well after I show it here one more time. So make sure we have base blocking because all the routes are pushing the zones back. You're going to be able to have that running back Texas route as a check down option. I'm also going to show this play against Tampa 2 as well. It's the same setup, and then you're just going to be looking for the running back Texas route underneath until they start coming down and respecting it. It's going to get wide open against pretty much any zone coverage in the game. And like I said, you don't run this play against man. This is a strictly only zone play. So, and then I also noticed like on the weak side, if you look at this seam streak right here from number 17 on the left side, there if you pass lead down at a 5 o'clock angle, you wait until he passes by the hook defenders. You can possession catch this a lot of times, and if you throw it early enough and get down, you were able to possession catch in front of the safety. So that's something to watch out for as well. And if we were on the right side, it'd be the same deal. So I'm gonna actually respot the ball for you and show you just like proof of concept. If you're running this on the weak side, so just Texas route the running back, make sure you have base blocking right here. And because it's a Tampa 2 defense, you can wait until he passes by that hook. You can just fire it in there and behind. All right, the last play we're going over is bench swap, and this is just like your traditional flood combo that we're doing here. So like since you have dual corner routes stock on the play, depending on what side of the field you're on, like whether left hash or right hash, you can kind of flood the field accordingly. So like if you want to do a combo like this is like a high low, like with the tight end drag in the corner with the streak to clear things out. And then you could either streak this guy, you could curl him, you could put him on a return and block the halfback or just whatever you feel comfortable doing. And it's just about reading the field. So if you could throw the underneath, I would always throw the underneath first. If you are on the right hash, you would be flooding the right side, of course. It's a little bit easier that way. So we look right here. All we really have to do is streak the tight end and then do whatever we want to backside. If you want to do drag return or drag post or something of that nature, you can do a curl. You can do another seam streak. It's just really up to you what you want to do on that backside as far as the check down option goes. But you're just reading high low. If the running back, like see he got open right there, and then if the running back's open underneath, you just throw that instantly, of course. And also what you can do to pair with the running back motion out that we did with the first play in corner and goes, you can motion out the halfback again and just leave him on this table route and then streak the tight end this way. This is really good against cover two. So I'll show it against the cover two defense here in a minute. But as far as like a high-low goes, if the running back's open on the table route and there's no hard flat out there, you can just kind of insta throw it and get some cheap yards that way. As you guys can see against cover two, we're going to motion out this table route here and streak the tight end. You can do whatever you want backside. You can do curl, return route, or just you can do it from, I would actually do it from right here actually. Whatever you want to do on the backside's fine. But we're going to look for that. We're going to look for that corner route against Tampa 2. You're going to see it's going to get open here if you have a correct pass lead. The safety is still going to kind of be there, but you kind of just have to, pass lead accordingly in front of that safety so that you don't get an interaction with that. So like so you do a drag and return backside here. There's a really good flood combo, especially in high pressure situations. You want to make the field as easy for you to read as possible so that you don't choke and make a dumb read. So, and that's something I'm actively trying to get better at as well. All right, now we're going to go over one tick to the left, and that is gun wide slot right weak. Now, I did an ebook on this sport formation specifically for the Tennessee offense last year, and you guys really liked it. So for the audibles, I have MotionZN. I have RPO read Y flat, vertical tight end cross, which is like 4 verticals out of spread, and then I have a motion double pass. And the double pass is really nice, but there is some drawbacks. So I'll mention its weaknesses and what coverage to not run it against. So we're gonna go MotionZN first. If I'm going fast paced, it's because I'm trying to go over a lot and try to fit it into a good 20-minute window for the video for you guys. But what we're doing here is we have an auto motion here from the running back, and then this play stock is honestly just really good. The user is going to have to choose between the vertical post route and the in route right here. So whichever route he follows, you just throw the opposite one. But your first read always needs to be this running back. If they're not respecting the running back, if you get a good rack animation in the flats, you're just like scampering upfield for a ton of yards. And then this is just against a cover 3 defense, but it'd be the same if it was cover 3, cover 2, whichever. But the thing about the Tennessee offensive playbook as a whole is because the formations are so wide, it's easy to take advantage of the defense, especially if they're in zone coverage, because of baseline not being a thing anymore. So yeah, like just running plays like this in general is going to get you. Like if you make the read on time, it's just going to be all the routes are going to get open at some point. So, and then I'm not going to be able to throw the post route because I'm not going to be able to. I don't have 2 controllers, so the yellow zones are probably going to cover it. But as you can see, if the defense was shaded down, that post would probably be wide open. So we still caught it. That's insane. But just when you're making your reads, it's either going to be the post route or the in route. So another reason that this auto motion is really good is because you can pair it with the double pass. So the double pass has the same exact motion. It's going to look exactly the same, even though it's different. But there's a drawback to this. Okay, you want to save this for like a key point in the game. So maybe if it's like halftime or whatever. But it only really works when they're in cover 3 or cover 4. So if they're in a cover 2 or if they're in man coverage, it's not going to work. So I want to make sure I say that. Okay, cover 3 and cover 4, it will work because you're isolating that defender on the right, and he has no help really. But when you're facing Tampa 2 or man defense, I would not run this play because it's not going to work. But what you're going to see is if you can get a good pass from your halfback, the QB will turn around and auto throw it, and then boom. If you get a really good throw, keep in mind that's a running back throwing the ball. So he's not going to be the most accurate. Again, typically against cover 3 defense, the outside third is going to bite down on it. So you see he gets a step, and then we're able to thread the needle. A good way to not make a mistake on this double pass play is if you do not notice the receiver getting a step on the defender, what you can do is you could just run with the halfback, and since you're a running back, you're more than likely not going to fumble, but that's just something to keep in mind. We'll run it one more time. This is like one of the glitchiest plays in the game, but I do think it's very well balanced as far as like what coverages it works against. So boom, you notice that the defender, we got a step on the defender that time, so we were able to thread the needle. But whenever you don't notice the receiver getting a step on the defender, that is when you want to just take off with the halfback. So this is the last time we're going to run it before we get to the other 2 plays. So QB is going to auto throw it, boom, and if the receiver doesn't get a step, you just take off with the running back, and it's just like a wildcat play essentially. So the other play we're going to go over is vertical tight end cross. Now, this is really good against cover 3 and cover 2. And the only adjustment I would make is, this tight end is in a unique position, so you could put him on a flat, you could put him on a wheel in like a Texas route or whatever, but most of the time I just put him on a Texas route just so that there's some threat over the middle of the field. Um, but you're really looking to throw the seam streak against cover three. He's gonna get a free release up the seam, and because the formation's so wide, it's so hard for a user to get over there, and you almost have to be really aggressive with your switch stick. So even just this play stock, uh, once he gets by that first underneath defender right there, it's pretty much money. And then I also want to show this verticals play. I want to show all these plays against cover two. So when we're showing all these plays against cover two, I'm going to go MotionZN first. You're going to notice that the post route actually can split the safeties just because of the formation being really, really wide. So you can see that if we pass lead correctly over the top right there, we can split the defense. But arguably a better way to split the defense is out of verticals. So when we go to verticals right here, just put him on a Texas route, I guess. Because of the formation being so wide, you can very easily split the defense downfield, and we just need to catch the ball right there, of course. But we'll run it one more time here. But it's really like, and this is just like something you audible to. Okay, this isn't something that you like. Of course, the main offense is going to be the tight slots, but just the fact that you're able to audible out to such a wide formation like this, so you can hit them down the middle, is so big in my opinion. So all right, now for the remainder of the ebook, I just want to talk about ways you can beat mid blitz in this playbook. So there's a few plays that I have saved in like several audibles, um, from when you like audible around and stuff like that. This MotionZN play out of wide slot right weak is also really good against mid blitz just because of the running back auto motion. And we might not get a good example of it here because the CPU is going to run after us. But whenever someone's running double mode, they're a lot of times going to take their safety and come down and mug inside the gaps. So whenever they do that, you're forcing them to use their running back, unless they want to put a hard flat out there, of course, and start adjusting to you. But any pass play that has a running back auto motion like that is going to force those mid blitz players to respect it. So anytime you can do that, that's a win. So just stiff arm, try to get to the second level. And there's a few other plays that I have that in here that kill mid blitz as well. So you have several versions of RPO read Y flat here. You could audible to one in this formation. Um, and then this is obviously, unless they put a hard flat, it's going to absolutely murder mid blitz. So you just catch it and scamper upfield. And then um, there is also this motion halfback swing right here and wide Y trips weak. The reason I like this one is because you have this like slant on the backside in the event that the user just runs and chases it. You have a one-on-one with the solo receiver over there, but the tight end will kick out, and then I just think the blocking is really good on this. So if you get a good rack animation, obviously you're going to be in better company there. But we'll run that one more time. Um, and yeah, like the reason I like this one is because of the slant on the backside, so you can throw that too in the event that they run and chase it with the user. So boom, we're not getting good rack animations right now, but anyways, that's another play. And let's see what else I have here. Um, gun wide Y off trips. There is this is the other formation I want to go over with you guys. They have a duo. They have the regular read Y flat. They have RPO bubble Y pop, and then they have a PA double post. So we're gonna go over that. This is like the more traditional read Y flat. So you can just pitch it out here, and it's gonna work just the same. We have a duo run here that's really good. It's probably not going to be good against mid blitz, but it's just a good run in general. It has been for a few years. So we go boom. It's basically like a halfback dive. And this RPO bubble Y pop play is also really good, especially out of this formation because of the formation being so wide and spread out. If you can catch them if you think they're in a cover two, this tight end is just going to be so open. It's just going to be insane. So, I mean, you can mix this play in as well. Just make sure you set it in your audibles. Um, as far as red zone offense and things like that, the halfback sweep's really good. You could go to that, or if you want to, you can run a you could audible to one of the mini like a read Y flats that they have in this playbook. So it's RPO read Y flat is going to be a good play in the red zone no matter what. So especially if you can steal those blocks from the other two receivers on the outside, you're going to have a really good, really easy time in the red zone when you're running those type of plays. Or you could run our like halfback swing play that we talked about. Um, So you could go right here, run that motion halfback swing again, and you have that slant on the backside as well. So keep in mind there. But boom, if you get a good rack animation, you're just walking in the end zone basically. So there's a lot of like gimmicky gotcha plays in the Tennessee playbook as a whole to help you guys. If you guys enjoy this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe down below for more schemes in the future, and make sure you have your notifications turned on so that you're always notified when a video goes live. I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace.